So today we're going to be talking about governance, getting into a little bit of the nitty gritty of what it takes to run a library of things and the people part of it all, how we work together, which can really make or break not only a library of things, but any type of a cooperative, collaborative project. And so we are grateful to have Liana with us once again, who will be leading us through this session. And
Cool. Thanks, Tom. I'm absolutely delighted to be back with you again. I feel like I've been working up to this, my most favorite topic, governance. This might seem a little esoteric if you're just getting started. I know some folks are in the incubation phase. Thinking about governance from an early stage will make such a difference. And if you've been established forever and you're thinking about how you can make your library of things more sustainable, more accountable, more inclusive, governance is a great place to look to. That's me. This is my legacy of co-directors. So the Station North School Library where I work has been co-directed since its inception. For 11 years, we've had shared staff leadership. We have been developing additional ways to share power pretty much constantly for the last 11 years. So I have a little bit of experience. Everyone has different experience, but a lot of this draws on our model, which is intentionally pretty non-hierarchical, pretty inclusive, and pretty radically flat. So all four of our staff members are co-directors of the organization right now. So when you think about governance, it's easy to just think about, I'm going to use a play analogy throughout the day today. It's easy to just think about the main characters, right? The board and the staff. That's how most nonprofits, most organizations, most businesses are governed, right? There's the people who implement day to day who are paid to do it. And then there's some sort of overseeing body, the board. But you also want to think about your supporting cast. So these are people who are involved in the organization or could be involved in the organization that might have a role in deciding its future. And everything that we're talking about today is how the organization moves forward. So we'll talk a little bit more about what that means in a sec, but the more you think about what goes into making a successful library of things, the more people you realize maybe have a say. So we also consider our volunteers, our members, our donors and funders, and then the larger community. So the folks who are not involved with the library yet, but who we would like to be, the people who live in the neighborhood where we are, the voters in our city, all these people who you might consider stakeholders. And then you got to think about the setting, right? Where are all of these people interacting? What is the stage set with? So for us, and for a lot of people, those big components are our strategy, our strategic plan, right? That influences the decisions that we make, who's involved in them, the scope of those decisions, and then how they get implemented. At the heart of everything is our values, which I've brought up before. We'll talk about values again in a sec and how important they are. And then our structure, right? So I just mentioned we have 4 co-directors of staff. We have a pretty new board. We were fiscally sponsored until last year. So we have a board of 8 people. Our staff sit on the board as voting members, which is another consideration, right? How do your staff and board interact? And then we have about 1,800 members and about 100 regular program volunteers. So that's our structure, essentially. Those are the defined roles that we have. The big question for us always is who writes the script, right? Who decides, right? Who's the author of the play? And that can get a little mind screwy if you start thinking about who gets to decide who makes the decisions. If you ever get lost with this, is to start with Act 1. Just start with the first draft. Start with a let's try this for now. Governance can seem like a really big, scary, official thing. But as long as you know the basic requirements, so like a nonprofit has to have a board chair and a treasurer, and then a third person. That's it. That's the legal requirement for your organizational structure. Everything else is up to you. So you can try something. Try an Act 1, see how it goes.